Whoa, hello. I'm going to move my face up here. Cool, it worked. All right, I'm going to talk to you about paint chip poetry right here. So you should have this assignment in front of you, hopefully. I'm going to show you what you need to do in order to get an A, and also how to do it. Okay, so anyway, first of all, you've got to select a paint chip from the available options, and hopefully you've already done that. Here's mine. I have, let's see, I'm going to write on here because it's really hard to see. Fortune, Plush Velvet, Urban Legend, and the last one, Aubergine, which is very fun to say. Here we go. Very, very neat teacher handwriting for you. All right, next in the instructions, study the three colors of the paint chip and what do they have in common. You'll notice that there are actually four. My camera's very laggy. Anyway, there are four colors. 1, 2, 3, 4. You only have to choose 3 of these to use. If you want to use all 4, then hey, more power to you. That's awesome. But you only have to use 3. Wrong thing. There we go. Okay. Now, you need to look at the names of the colors of the paint chips. So Fortune, Plush Velvet, Urban Legend, excuse me, Urban Legend, and Aubergine. We're not talking about the colors themselves, just the names of the colors. Let's see. What do they have in common? How can you craft a scene, story, or message using the names of these colors? All right. To do this, I actually went on Google and I just typed in the names of my colors. So I typed in Fortune and I pulled up these definitions. It's really distracting to have my face in the corner. Anyway, sorry, focus. I got these definitions. So fortune can be chance or luck. Like if you go to a fortune teller and you get your fortune told, she will be telling you your future. It could also be a large amount of money or assets. So a fortune could be a huge chunk of change that you inherit from your parents. One other thing that I think would be useful is to talk about the connotation of your words. Connotation is kind of the special definition of a word. It's not like the dictionary definition. The connotation is the emotional weight that your word carries. You can think of it as, is a word positive or is it negative? Well, fortune. I feel like that is mostly neutral. However, it could be positive or negative because a fortune in terms of money, so money generally equals, I would say positive. I like to get money. But if you were thinking about fortune in terms of like a bad future from a fortune teller, like a gypsy or whatever, well, that's pretty negative sounding, right? I don't like the way that looks. I'm not good at formatting. There we go. Okay. My next word was plush velvet. You've probably heard of plush velvet before. Velvet is a type of fabric that's really soft and luxurious. So plush velvet to me, the connotation is of like comfort and luxury. So it sounds positive to me, right? Okay. Urban legend. We talked about urban legend in class a little bit. Urban legend is kind of like a myth, except it is contemporary. In other words, it's a myth that people talk about as happening in present day. We talked about the Bunnyman Bridge, Bloody Mary. You could even talk about Area 51, things like that, like aliens and whatnot. So the connotation of urban legend, it sounds vaguely threatening to me. Maybe even violent or supernatural. I would say generally negative. All right, now we're looking at aubergine. An aubergine, in case you don't know, is just a fancy word for eggplant. Now, it can also be a color, like dark purple, which is the color that eggplants are. Connotation for me, that's pretty neutral. I mean, cooked eggplant can be kind of slimy, and some people hate it, but that's, I don't know if I can use that in my poetry. All right, so now I've kind of examined the words and their meanings and their connotations. Now I'm ready to do some brainstorming to think about how can I use these words to actually build a theme or a story. And if you were in class, I talked my way through this a bit, so I'm not going to bore you to death with talking my way through it, except to say that urban legends, I naturally started thinking about different urban legends and how aubergine and plush velvet could be used to describe something in the urban legend, like maybe there's something dark and spooky. And I said plush velvet would be like a really odd way to describe some kind of dark, scary thing, because plush velvet has this connotation of comfort and luxury, which is positive, but you'd be describing something scary and dark. So you get that neat kind of juxtaposition. And fortune just naturally made me think about somebody having their fortune told as part of an urban legend, and then something scary happening. So right away I was going with something a little spooky and scary, like a Halloween kind of story poem. And then I just did a whole bunch more thinking and Googling. I Googled urban legend. I Googled the Bloody Mary story, because that's just what popped into my head. And I discovered that Bloody Mary, the original urban legend, had something to do with telling your fortune by walking up a set of stairs backwards at midnight holding a candle or some kind of garbage like that. And you'd look in the mirror and you'd either see the face of your future husband, or you'd see a skull, which would mean that you'd die before you got married. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So I kind of lost my place here. Basically, I think I just said that, hey, I'm going to start writing because I have sort of an idea. So my idea was to write about my older sister when I was young. She was kind of mean to me, and we didn't get along, and she never included me in the stuff that she wanted to do. So I thought, hey, I'll create this situation where my older sister is finally going to include me in something with her friends, but it's going to be her trying to scare me by making me do Bloody Mary in the bathroom mirror with her high school friends to try to scare me. And I thought it would be kind of neat to talk about knowing ahead of time that this is what she was going to do, but not really caring that that's what she was doing, because I wanted so badly to get to know her like my friends know their brothers and sisters. So I have a really, really rough draft here. And in my next video, I'm going to show you how I edit it to make it more clear and hopefully smoother. So right now it just says, my high school sister and her friends, they let me in, I think, to frighten me, but she was a mystery to me. I wanted a solution for our fortune. I was thinking fortune as in what she and I would be like in the future. And so the darkness was plush velvet. So even though it was dark and was supposed to be scary, it was really comforting, and like it felt really cool to me because I was getting to do something with my big sister. With a candle to soften it further, before a mirror and girl hands pushing at my childish back. When I read that line, I think about getting pushed towards the mirror, which is like a reflection of yourself, which that could be kind of a neat image to play with. Maybe I'll do something with that later. And then I was trying to figure out how to communicate to the reader that my sister and her friends were going to make me say Bloody Mary, 13 times, and how it was an urban legend. So I just threw this in, but it sounds really awkward to me, so I'm not even going to read it out loud. I'll change it later. Same thing with this. I don't really like that. I'm going to probably take that out and change it somehow later. And then in this last stanza, I wanted to contrast this made up story about our past with our current present, our current, well, what else would your present be? With our current situation, which is, she's married and has kids, I'm married and I have kids, and sometimes we get together and the kids play with each other, and it's really cool because her kids and my kids are close and like playing, and that was something that she and I never had, which was, sad, but whatever. we write to work things out. All right, so that's pretty much it. I'm hoping that this 10 minutes of me blathering about how I got through my rough draft will help you maybe string some things together. It can be really difficult to try to find a theme, something worthwhile to say, because you need to like allow yourself to like crack your head open and really think about feelings. Otherwise, you just end up writing something that doesn't really mean much. All right, anyway, I'll stop blathering. Peace out.